This is the Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead. Do you remember when I gave away a first aid kit? And in it, I put these, they're called steri strips, and they're used for stitches. Well, I did something really foolish today. I was washing a glass and it was really deep, and I didn't see that the edge had 2 chips in it, and when I put my hand in and I did that, I got myself a good inch gash. And I went to the hospital and they gave me some Tylenol, they washed it, they put a bandage on it and told me to wait for stitches. Well, the stitches, and I'm right-handed here, the stitches never materialized after 4.5 hours. So why I bothered to go to the hospital in the first place? I'm just really lucky that when I did it, I clamped down on it right away, so it did not bleed a lot. But, ow, I'm gonna put this in some warm soapy water because that pad's stuck to my hand. It needs washing with more than just sterile water is what they used on it anyway. A little bit of soap and water. Geez, see, and that's another thing. Because of the where it is placed in my hand, she actually separated my thumb from my finger and wrapped it around when it would have been better like this, and it would have kept the wound closed. So I would have done better myself in the first place. I don't know why I bothered. Ow. Oh, that hurt. Going to the hospital. Okay. Now, let's see. It's in a really awkward place. It's right up my thumb and into here. And I don't know how well you can see it, but we've got to dry it. This towel does not look clean, but it is. I just want to make sure everything's going to stick when I put it on. Now, I don't know how well you can see this right here, but it goes from here. How well can you see that there? It goes from here all the way to here, and if I were to move my thumb, that would gape open and it went right through the tissue. It went right through. So I'm not going to move my hand to open this anymore, because after sitting for 4.5 hours in the hospital, it's already started to close on its own, which is what I'm sure was their idea of, you know, let's put a band-aid on it and wash it, put a band-aid on it, and maybe she'll go home. So these are steri strips, and what I'm going to get Wolfe to do is, there's 3 on a package, and I'm going to get them to cut this in half. This really works well. We're a good team. He's left-handed, I'm right-handed, right in half. And what these will do is, these will help hold this closed. I don't know how well I'm going to do this. I am right-handed, and that sucks big time. Okay. Now what these are, is these are really sticky little pieces of tape, but they have fibers built in so that they're really strong. And I don't know, let's start. I'm just gonna, you start on one side of the wound. This is really an awkward spot, folks. Start on one side of the wound and you pull it over. Ow. And that will essentially hold the wound closed. Make sure the skin's dry, folks. And I'm going to do one more. Now, if this was Howie, I'd have it done in, you know, like a jackrabbit on a date, but this is my right hand and I'm doing it left-handed. But they told me I needed stitches. I was going to need probably 4 stitches, but there it is, folks. I don't know how well you can see that in the camera, dear. Can you see that okay? Mm-hmm. There it is. I'm stitched up, essentially. We're going to put this back because I have 4 pieces left, and we're going to get Howie to put that back in the Ziploc bag there so they'll stay sterile. And I'm just going to, now, for some reason this kit did not come with it came with gauze pads, but it didn't come with gauze bandage. So I've got some gauze pads here and some tape, but what I'm going to do, where did my antibiotic cream go? It's probably on this thing right here. There's my little thing of triple antibiotic ointment, and I'm going to put it right on the gauze pad. I don't know if you can see this. Just a little bit of antibiotic ointment just to be safe. I'm going to do just what the nurse did, and I'm just going to put this right here, and then I'm going to tuck this in. Now, I don't have any gauze bandage, but you can get these at the dollar store. They're called stuffing bags. And what it is knitted cotton, and it's a bag to put stuffing in inside your turkey. And I am just going to take the end where there's no threads. I'm just going to wrap it, and that might actually not be enough. So would you get me the cheesecloth out of there, dear? Another thing these are good for is if you want something to hold a bandage on, you cut this end off like a sock, cut a hole for your thumb and put your hand through, but the wound isn't that bad and I do need some maneuverability. We'll cut it off as we, There we go. Remember me telling you about the... no, I'm just going to fold it in half. Remember me telling you about how to keep cheesecloth in the house, guys? This is another really good use for cheesecloth. I'm just going to fold it lengthwise, and I'm just going to put this around here like so. Now, better safe than sorry. I can't do dishes for a couple of days, which is both a blessing and a curse because my son doesn't really do dishes very well, but I'm just going to wrap this around. And I'm going to get Papa to cut the end off.
Did they give you a little clamp or no?
No, they didn't give me any little clamps or anything. Those are for elastic ones. And I'm just going to get him to tape it. Not bad for someone who's right-handed. You should have your glasses on, dear. Okay, we're just going to put a couple of pieces of tape right there. There's one. And there's two. A little clumsy because like I said, I'm right-handed. But if I want, I could actually put this. Howie, will you cut the corner off of this? We're going to cut the corner off of this for demonstration purposes because it's literally just a sock. I might have done that wrong. And just a little V right there, just a little V cut. Yeah, that's good. That'll work. You have no idea, folks, this really friggin' hurts. But this will kind of keep things from untangling too much. A little hole right there. Like that, and then give this a little cut down the thing so you can tie it in a knot. Cut it right down. It's a little overboard, I do know that, but since we're doing it, we're going to make it a demonstration thing anyway. And you want to tie that in a nice, not too tight, but tight, firm knot. Keep going, a little tighter. There we go. I'm sure the hospital could have done better, folks, but it's a field dressing. Let's just put it that way. It's a field dressing. This is the Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead saying, before you stick your hand in a glass, check the edge for chips. Okay? This was supposed to be 4 to 5 stitches. We did it ourselves. Woot!
Even if healthcare is free?
Even if healthcare is free, that's right. Even if our healthcare is free,
Think before you go to the hospital.
Think before you go to the hospital, because I could have saved myself 4.5 hours in a waiting room, just done this in the first place. Later.